I am reading from my notes, so sorry in advance for mispronouncing some words. This is a study and notes on the spiritual aspect along with some of the science aspect of past life and reincarnation. At the beginning of the Christian era, reincarnation was one of the pillars of belief, but later was removed from the Bible. Early church elders and theologians taught reincarnation of the soul as a matter of course. It was written in the Bible after all. Increasing evidence brought to light from various historians and skeptics show that there was a lot of information that was not only left out of the Bible, but disinformation that was deliberately added to the Bible after the New Testament was released. Interesting, but also perhaps very uncomfortable for those who follow the Christian faith, because reincarnation is certainly not part of that belief system. Given then, it must be noted that there is quite a bit of evidence that points towards a large percentage of early Christians who did accept the idea of a cycle and rebirth on earth. This was around the period of 0 AD to 500 AD. It was during this time period that the stories of Jesus Christ were written down by hand and passed down to future generations. During this time, the Bible as we know it had not been written and put together in its whole form. Upon the discovery of crucial and important documents, scholars have been able to confirm that Gnostic Christians also believed in reincarnation. At this time, they didn't have the label of Gnostics at all. They were just Christians who followed the message of Christ and just so happened to believe in reincarnation. Unfortunately, later on, these ideas were prosecuted by the Christian Church. Reincarnation was officially removed from Christian doctrine during the year 553 under the Second Council of Constantinople. I think it's Constantinople. The council was evoked by the Emperor Justinian and Empress Theodora to decide then what were to be acceptable Christian beliefs and practices. The council released a list of decrees which sounded the death knell for the idea of reincarnation. The ultimate purpose of reincarnation is for the soul to learn enough spiritual lessons, gain enough enlightenment from earth life so that the soul can qualify for even higher heavenly realms of the afterlife and dwell even closer to the light of God. And there are many realms, many heavens, many hells, and many realms in between. The Apostle Paul wrote about a man who had a near-death experience and journeyed to the third heaven, 2 Corinthians 12. I knew such a boy, whether in the body I cannot tell, or whether out of the body I cannot tell, such an one caught up to the third heaven, and I knew such a man, whether in the body or out of the body I cannot tell, he was caught up into paradise. Jesus mentioned there were many dwelling places in his Father's house. Many sources reveal a cosmology of at least 10 major afterlife realms. So reincarnation is God's grand design for the soul to work its way up through the afterlife hierarchy of realms toward the goal of becoming permanent citizens in God's highest heaven, which is complete at one-ment with the light of God. These Christian mysteries were once available during the first 500 years of early Christianity until the Church decided to declare them as hearsay for the sake of orthodoxy. Near-death experience testimonies reveal how people have the free will to spend whatever amount of time they desire in afterlife realms before reincarnating to earth again. If reincarnation is indeed their choice, this is because time does not exist in the afterlife realms like it does in the physical realm. Near-death experience studies reveal time only exists in the physical realm, and according to Albert Einstein, time is relevant and flexible. Upon entering the afterlife, you soon realize that you've been there before. You realize you existed before you were born, and now you are returning to where you were before you were born. Returning to the afterlife feels as though you have been away for only a few moments. You feel as though your earth experience was just a dream for which you are now waking up. This is because you have now entered eternity, where time doesn't exist and cannot be measured. One moment can extend into 1,000 years, or vice versa. The principle agrees with the Bible. With the Lord, a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like a day. 2 Peter 3:8. Even Jesus affirmed to his disciples that John the Baptist was the reincarnation of the prophet Elijah. The Bible reveals John had both the spirit and power of Elijah, meaning his reincarnation. Elijah and Moses appeared transfigured with Christ at his first coming, and in the book of Revelation, Elijah and Moses are implied to be reincarnated for Christ's second coming. Jesus mentioned to his followers they would be alive on earth at the second coming, possibly implying their reincarnation. The Bible gives evidence of Jesus' past life as Melchizedek, priest of the Most High God, whom sat at the right hand of God. Psalms 110, The Lord said unto my Lord, Sit thou at my right hand, until I make thine enemies thy footstool. The Lord hath sworn, and will not repent, thou art a priest for ever after the order of Melchizedek. Hebrews 7, King of peace, without father, without mother, without descent, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but made like unto the Son of God. Thou art a priest for ever after the order of Melchizedek. Though he were a son, yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered, and being made perfect, he became the author of eternal salvation unto all them that obey him. All throughout the Bible, Jesus is also at the right hand of God. A collection of early Gnostic scripts dating on or before the 4th century. Melchizedek, as Jesus Christ lives, preaches, dies, and is resurrected in a Gnostic perspective. The coming of the Son of God, Melchizedek, speaks of his return to bring peace, supported by the gods, and he is a priest-king who dispenses justice. And remember, he also sat at the right hand of God, as did Jesus. Also in the Bible, it refers him to being made perfect, and the author of eternal salvation unto all them that obey him. Also that he was without father and mother, without descent, and having neither beginning of days nor end of life, and made like the Son of God. All straight from the Bible. Melchizedek, the King of righteousness and King of peace, is associated with the eternal priesthood of the Son of God. The Bible uses the Greek word palingenesia, which translated means reincarnation. Palingenesia is, I'm probably not even pronouncing that word right, is a concept of rebirth or recreation used in various contexts in philosophy, theology, politics, and biology. The Bible describes life as a cycle and how God brings everything to life again. Some books of the Jewish and Christian Apocrypha mentions reincarnation. Jewish Apocrypha includes the text written in the Jewish religious tradition, either in the early Christian era, but outside the Christian's tradition. It does not include books in the Hebrew Bible, nor those accepted into the canon of some of or all Christian faiths. In many instances in the Bible, John the Baptist is identified as the reincarnation of Elijah the prophet. Often the person identifying John the Baptist as Elijah is Jesus himself. When Jesus took Peter, James, and John to a high mountain where he transfigured before them, his face shone like the sun, and his clothes became as white as the light. Moses and Elijah also appeared and talked with Jesus. As they were coming down the mountain, the disciples asked him, Why then do the teachers of the law say that Elijah must come first? Jesus replied, To be sure, Elijah comes and will restore all things. But I tell you, Elijah has already come, and they did not recognize him, but have done to him everything they wished. In the same way, the Son of Man is going to suffer at their hands. Then the disciples understood that he was talking to them about John the Baptist. Matthew 17, 1-13. Jesus identified John the Baptist as the reincarnation of Elijah. Even the disciples of Jesus understood what Jesus was saying, as said in the Bible. Most religions essentially point towards the same thing. Adding reincarnation back into the Bible and to Christianity makes it even more similar to many other world religions. Spiritual practice, spiritual enlightenment, God, Buddhism, the universe, they all intermix, one and the same. The universe, the energy, our creator. Meditation is important in Christianity and in all forms of Buddhism. In Zen Buddhism, it is especially important. Buddhists pursue meditation as part of the path towards enlightenment and nirvana. So does God in the Bible. Early Christians were aware of Buddhism, which was practiced in both the Greek and Roman empires in the pre-Christian period. As for the Bible, the Vatican Church, or the Roman Catholic Church, has a long history of corruption and deception. In the year 1611, the Bible was translated from Latin into English. Back then, the Bible contained a total of 80 books, and the last 14 books, which today have been excluded, made up the end of the Old Testament. In 1684, all of these books were removed from all versions except for a 1611 edition. In this first edition, you will also actually find that Jesus' name is spelled I-E-S-U-S. Listen to this for a moment. This is Dr. Elena Gaber. After 10 years of practice as a medical doctor in Europe, Dr. Elena Gaber discovered the amazing benefits of our higher levels of awareness and consciousness in healing. She uses hypnotherapy and past life regression as complementary tools in her medical practice.
Shut your eyes. The physical body dies, but the soul extends from the body, and you will remain the same personality. You will think the same way, you will feel the same way. It's just that you don't have the physical body anymore. You have a different type of body, another level of your body, the ethereal body or the soul body or the dream body or the cosmic body, whatever you would like, energetic body, whatever you would like to call it. You're hopefully ending in the light, and we all end in the light, either immediately after death or after a while. It's very possible that the people in your family to mourn you, to have very strong feelings when you die, and they will kind of block you in the ethereal field for a while. And when they overcome their pain, you're able to actually go to the light. And as we talked in the light, there is that life review. And after this process, the soul decides what it would like to do next. It could choose to reincarnate, to live another life, stay in the ultimate reality for a while, or stay there for good. After the decision is made, and that decision is made together with the spiritual guides, the masters, and the source, God, then the soul transitions in the ultimate reality, in the home of all souls, what religion calls heaven. It is an infinite universe of pure positive high vibration energy. It's a non-physical reality, a reality of pure consciousness that's actually at the base of everything in existence. There, one could find the tree of life, the river of life, which are places of connection of souls where the knowledge of everything that ever existed can be accessed. Could find an infinitude of dimensions, and the source of life itself, what people call God.
Now that we've covered some of the spiritual and scientific aspects of reincarnation and past life regression, hypnosis, let's cover a little bit about how opening the third eye in meditation can help with spiritual enlightenment. Many tribes, multiple cultures, and different religions use meditation and higher frequencies to achieve higher enlightenment. Achieving a mentally clear and emotionally calm state feels amazing. The third eye is a spiritual concept that refers to a person being able to achieve perception beyond ordinary sight. Also known as the inner eye, it is the gateway to inner realms and states of higher consciousness beyond the physical world. The third eye is commonly associated with visions, out-of-body experiences, astral projection, and the ability to achieve and observe chakras and auras. In Hinduism, the third eye refers to the brow chakra located around the middle of the forehead, slightly above the junction of the eyebrows. It is said that through the third eye meditation, the third eye is activated, DMT released, and access to higher realms gained. The third eye is also known as the sixth chakra and referred to as clairvoyant sight, a word taken from French language meaning clear vision. This is basically the sixth sense, which gives a person the capability to access information beyond the five physical senses. There is DMT music and frequencies that help trigger natural DMT during meditation. What happens during third eye meditation? Third eye meditation opens up your clairvoyant sight. People often discover, access new information, and explore higher levels of consciousness. During this form of meditation, and as mentioned previously, this is also used as a pathway to astral projection and lucid dreaming. Once you successfully activate the third eye, rays of light will stream in and you will begin to see vivid colors, pictures, auras, and visions. With practice, you will begin to see more clearly, opening up pathways to higher levels of consciousness and spirituality. If you have clairvoyant tendencies, they will begin to flourish outside of your meditation. You may begin to perceive the chakras and auras energy of people, plants, and animals, and going forward, you may see other dimensional beings and objects. Some tribes use certain plants to help achieve this and talk to other dimensional beings. And to those that say opening the mind's eye for enlightenment is devil's work, well, if you follow the Bible as you say you do, then you would know that the eye for enlightenment and meditation is highly looked up one in the Bible. Some examples. Matthew 6:22. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. In biblical, the meaning of the name Pineal is face or vision of God that sees God. Genesis 32:30. And Jacob called the name of the place Pineal, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. Third eye, pineal gland, awaken and enlightenment of the mind's eye. The light of the body is the eye. Straight from the Bible. The light of the body is the eye. Also, the eye is the lamp of the body. So if your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light. And it doesn't say eyes. It says the eye of the lamp of the body. The eye is the lamp of the body. So your eye is healthy. Your whole body will be full of light. The light of the body is the eye. Okay, now for meditation. Genesis 24:63. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide, and he lifted up his eyes and saw. Psalms 1:2. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of waters. Communion with your own heart upon your bed and be still. Psalms 4. Commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Psalms 19:14. So you see that it says the word meditation. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight. Psalms 1:19-15. I will meditate in the precepts and have respect unto thy ways. Psalms 104:34. My meditation of him shall be sweet. I will be glad into the Lord. Psalms 49:3. My mouth shall speak of wisdom, and the meditation of my heart shall be of understanding. Psalm 63:6. When I remember thee upon my bed, and meditate on thee in the night watches. Because thou hast been my help, therefore in the shadow of the wings will I rejoice. So meditation is found to be great throughout the whole Bible.